the game. Like Vietnam, the Indonesians have a pillar in the back in their captain, Pranata, and he wasn't taking any chances there. He had to make that clearance. It's a well-weighted and well-positioned cross by Van Toen, and lurking was Kong Pong, looking for goal number 5. Tuan Tai up there as well for this corner. It's going to be swung in by Hong Doi. Hong Doi with the corner, putting pressure on the keeper, who I think didn't know whether to punch or claim that, and eventually he got something on it, but it slipped through his hands out for corner number 2. Keeper caught in 2 minds for my money here. That was neither a punch or a catch. Asking for trouble. And they had the runner coming in at the far post as well. So an early scare for Hardianto in the Indonesia goal. Referee taking care of some handbags in the 6-yard box. Duman is the one, I think, who was spoken to. Another good corner, another good delivery. Not far away. Thought for a moment it was going to go straight in the far corner of the net. But nothing doing as, oh, that was full-blooded. Harry Addy clattering into Van Tan there. 2 benches are involved. Van Tan in a bit of pain. And we've seen referees, for the most part, a couple of red cards in the Thailand-Cambodia game, but we've seen referees here be reasonably lenient when it comes to cards in this tournament. Certainly in the games I've covered featuring Vietnam, there's been no rush to get the card out. Several times you would have expected Philippines players to be booked in their clash against Vietnam, and it didn't transpire. Van Tan is okay to continue, and for understandable reasons, the referee Al Yakibi keen to keep his cards in his pockets in the early stage of this one. With so much riding on it, Vietnam without any shadow of a doubt the favourites, but not by much in this. Header from range, it will go down as an attempt on target, but give him a plate and a knife and fork with that, Hardianto. Never going to spill that one, surely. But the first attempt, meaningful attempt on goal, comes from Hong Doi. Big clearance from the keeper, goes over everyone. There at the back is that reliable yardstick, Bu Tien Dong. So Vietnam certainly enjoying the lion's share of early possession. But Indonesia coping reasonably well. That's poor though. Can't afford to give away possession cheaply like that to a team like Vietnam, who attack quickly and at pace. Just a little bit too much on that for the onrushing Van Hao. We've seen him already get forward time and time again. Van Hao on 2 goals for the tournament. 2 crackers they were as well. He's provided a couple of assists. One stunning cross on match day 1 comes to mind. That's an interesting ball in. Skids through to the goalkeeper. Hardianto claims the manages to keep Tuan Tai at bay for now. Both teams, I think, playing, well, certainly Indonesia playing like a defeat would be a disaster for them. Vietnam with slightly more rope to play with in terms of being able to lose this and still qualify with that game against Thailand on match day 5. Whatever happens here, their fate will be in their own hands. Vietnam beginning to turn the screw now. Tuan Tai is the player fouled there, and a chance for Vietnam to implement their first set piece, albeit from range, but we've seen plenty of efforts from long range in the SEA Games so far. Faiz Subri, the Puskas Award winner, the famous free kick scored by the Malaysian, I'm sure has contributed to that. Seems to be the fashion in the region now to score, or to at least try and score outrageous free kicks. But they're shaping up here as if they're looking for a cross Vietnam. No, he goes for goal. There he is, the Faiz Subri effect. going for goal there, Kong Pong. He had his sights set on this 5th of the tournament. Not wide, but too high. But possession belonging to Indonesia early, and he's finally cracked. The referee dishes out 2 cards. Certainly Antara is one of them. I believe it was Antara. I think he showed 1 to each team there. I'm not sure Dasami was the player booked. I'd like confirmation of that. I'm sure we'll get that from pitch side. I thought Antara was the player he flashed the card to. No, we'll have to go with the official verdict there from our host broadcaster. So number 23 going into the book. Pranata, the captain, and it may well have been Butien Dung that was the player booked from Vietnam. I hope that doesn't play a part later. I believe it was the 2 skippers that were booked. We shall see. But the referee has seen enough of the niggly challenges and wants to stamp them out early, having shown a bit of leniency in the first 8 minutes. He's not prepared to stretch that to the first quarter of an hour. It's all Vietnam coming forward, trying to get the goal that would put 1 foot in the semi-finals for them. It's laid off, shot comes in. Oh, whistling past the post. Vietnam's best effort so far. Forced to take it on from range was Tran Thai. It was a decent layoff if it was intended. He may have preferred to go for power if he looks back on that. It was actually Hong Doi with the effort. Arguable whether the keeper had it covered. He suggests there was a touch from the keeper. And it turns out he's right, because we are going to see another Vietnam corner. This one slightly deeper. Beyond Van Khan will keep it in. And Van Khan cleverly playing for corner number 4. So Vietnam in front on every statistic that matters. Corners, possession, shots on goal. Well, there you have confirmation. It was actually, as expected, it was Antara booked, so it was 2 yellow cards shown to 2 Indonesians, I believe. Confirmation to come. Corner comes in, this one close enough to the keeper for Hardianto to gather. So yes, so from what we're hearing, it was 2 Indonesians booked. Pranata, the captain, and Antara. So we'll have to scrub that yellow card I thought I saw waved in the direction of Butien Dung. He was running away from the referee, and the referee seemed in a hurry to get the card out. That's what led me to believe that it had gone to the Vietnamese skipper. So 2 Indonesians in the book, and more importantly, 2 of their defenders in the book. And that's not a good move inside 15 minutes for the team that's under pressure. Can they hit Vietnam on the counter? Scrapping away for the ball there. Sham Bandi and Haryadi involved in that passage of play. Of all the teams I've seen in SEA Games action so far this week, Vietnam look by far the most comfortable in possession. Very rare that they give the ball away. That's certainly give the ball away too easily, and that's unfortunately a trait of many of the other teams, going all the way through from Timor-Leste right at the bottom ranks to Thailand, surprisingly, who've not really impressed. Although having said that, they currently sit atop of Group B. And of course, as it stands, this point, by virtue of their better goal difference, would take Vietnam above them if it does stay as a stalemate. And something else that's, at this point of the proceedings, very important to bear in mind: if teams are tied at the end of the group stage, it is not decided on head-to-head. Points, goal difference, then goal scored. And if they can't decide them after all of that, I'm told we'll get a penalty shootout to decide who goes through to the semi-finals. Let's hope we don't need that lottery. Here's Indonesia. Can't remember them making a meaningful venture into the Vietnamese box so far. Maybe that will change now. Vietnam with numbers back. Hustling well, though. It's Malafani. Cross comes in, 2 against 2. Not too sure about the cleared header. Haryadi in possession now, has a turn. We'll try and get a shot away. Willie Haryadi! That one's on the way to Johor now, I think. Up high and out the stadium. Well, that's the first shot on goal from Indonesia. Taken on the run, rather snatched at. and was never going to cause Min Long any cause for concern. Still goalless in the other game being played out. Cambodia, Timor-Leste. That game currently 0-0. That one being played at the Arena Stadium. This one, of course, at Saliang's very intimate venue. You can see there as well, as Van Toen tries to pull it back. The danger's not cleared yet. Twisting and turning was Kong Pong. Scuffed the shot. And got to hand it to the ground staff here. You can see from that shot we just saw, the pitch is cutting up rather badly. Under the circumstances, the ground staff have done an admirable job. 11 games scheduled on this pitch in 12 days. And after today, it will feature the group decider between Thailand and Vietnam. So, as well as Singapore, Brunei, this is the 9th of 11 games scheduled. That's dropped nicely for Tuan Thai. He wants handball there. Tuan Thai's absolutely furious. He was nearest to it. He believed that was handball. I'd like to see a replay. He was the only Vietnamese player to appeal aggressively. But that will be an interesting one for the replay. He seemed to have more time, Tuan Thai, than he realised. He went for the spectacular and probably had time initially to bring it down, but early piece of controversy with that penalty shout for Vietnam. Cheap free kick conceded by Hardianto. Can't have too many complaints there, dragging down Hong Doi. Really would like to see that penalty shout once more. Hopefully we will get to a replay of it shortly, but as we approach the 20-minute mark, it's scoreless in Saliang. Vietnam, as it stands, this point good enough to take them to the top of Group B with one game to go. If it stays as a stalemate, we're in for a thrilling match day 5. That you can be certain of. We'd go into match day 5 with the top 3 separated by 3 points. That was a shot from range attempted, from long range attempted by Tuan Thai. He's got a hunger for goals. Shaj Bandi getting enough on it. And with the goal difference they have, Vietnam, a point would really put them through, but you can't rule out Indonesia scoring a barrel load against Cambodia. That would be the only fly in that ointment. Vietnam's goal difference plus 11 going into this. Indonesia's just plus 4. They, of course, would stay the same in the event of a draw. And then you've got to assume that so many permutations. But certainly those goals that Vietnam have scored will put them in good stead, because even a draw here would put them 5 goals clear of Thailand. They could afford to draw that game against Thailand then and still go through. Vietnam, at the moment, on the balance of play, cementing their reputation as one of the favourites for gold at the SEA Games. They've got some defending to do now. The ball running away from Malafani, who clearly is the preferred option down that right-hand side for Indonesia, but it comes to nothing, and they are struggling at the moment, Indonesia, to get a foothold on this game. Here come Vietnam. There's some space for Van Toen to work with. Lays it off, the cross comes in, and there's another crucial interception by Indonesia. We're exactly halfway through the first half. Corner number 5 for Vietnam now. How much longer can Indonesia sustain this pressure? The before the breakthrough is made. And of course, once the first goal goes in, this game should really open up in theory. Corner from Hong Doi, not his best of the 5 he's delivered. And here's a chance for a quick counter from Indonesia. Calm as you like though, Vietnam goes straight back up onto the attack. Good work in defence from Trong. Tran Thai involved, here's Hong Doi, out to the right and Van Toen. Look at Kong Pong lurking, Van Toen, still Van Toen down to the byline, corner number 6. Their close control is so good, Vietnam. It's a nightmare to defend against. You can see there, he has to be spot on with this. Does He Hanusa. If it had gone to take the ball from the player there, every chance we would have seen a penalty. Remember, 1 penalty shot already for Vietnam, albeit it seemed to be just Tran Thai that was appealing. Bu Chen Dong up for this corner. It's going to be swung in by Hong Doi. Red shirt's rising, but it's a white shirt that gets it away. It's a scuff clearance, though. That's what I'm talking about. So many teams at these SEA Games struggling to clear the ball convincingly, giving chance for Vietnam to launch it back in. They've still got players up from that corner. Collected well by Du Man. Inside to Hong Doi. Again, another scuff clearance. And Indonesia finally try and get it away, and they do so by virtue of Kong Pong blocking the clearance and sending it back towards the goal line for a goal kick to Indonesia. Another handsome clearance from Hardianto. But here's a chance, there's space for Kong Pong. All he had to do was take that ball past the man, and he had empty grass in front of him. As it is, danger still not cleared. Van Toen, this is becoming real dominance from Vietnam, but they need the breakthrough goal. Surely once the breakthrough goal comes and Indonesia have to come out and play a bit more, they will enjoy even more freedom. As it is, they're keeping possession seemingly at will. It's the more confident start here from Vietnam. Van Khan will get this back. Trong. Van Tan to Van Toen, who's had a very busy first 25 minutes. Vietnam, as we saw on numerous occasions in their previous 3 games, very content to be patient. There's no rush to their forward forays. They're happy to go back before they go forward. The flag stayed down here. Van Toen, players coming into the middle, gets the connection. And Tran Thai, anywhere but straight at the goalkeeper with any kind of connection, that would have been a goal. Brilliant running from Van Toen. The weight of the ball was absolutely perfect. And Tran Thai, well, that was an audacious piece of skill. I think it eventually ended up coming off his back, but he went for the audacious there. Unfortunately for Indonesia, Hardianto managed to get down and smother the ball. But they're getting plenty of joy down both flanks, Vietnam. And Indonesia beginning to look stretched. Here they go again. Van Tan gets it back. Still coming forward. Trying a shot from range is Hong Doi! Palmed away from danger by Hardianto, but that was a shot on target. Hong Doi not a million miles away from breaking the deadlock. Look at this, fully 35 yards out. Keeper well positioned and palmed it away. This angle will tell us maybe whether it was going wide or not. Well, possibly, but Hardianto couldn't take the chance. It's another corner, corner number 7. How many chances do Vietnam need before they make the breakthrough that will see them have 1.5 feet in those semi-final matches to be played at the weekend? Tran Thai is there. That could go anywhere. And they want another penalty off that effort from Tuan Tai, and here's Indonesia's chance to break, but terrible second touch from David Septian. The old adage there that his second touch is the tackle, never a truer word spoken. He was even too far away to tackle after that second touch. It's the Vietnamese fans that are in the fuller voice at the moment here at the Seliag, where it's goalless after 28 minutes, goalless 2 at the UTM between Cambodia and Timor-Leste. Shambandi, as they try and penetrate down the left. Hanusa goes back. That's more like it. This is David Septian, straight into the path of Duman. Well, Hanusa there, showing some nice touches, as did David Septian. And just as we approach the half-hour mark, are we about to see the first meaningful Indonesian foray towards the goal? Suggestion that was being held there, the Indonesian. Comes out to Hanusa. That's a decent-looking cross. And getting their head to it was Malfiani. The contact, though, not good enough under the pressure of the Vietnamese defender. Van Khan doing enough to distract Malafani. Indonesia, no whistle, play on. Malafani with some joy down the right. Inside it comes, they've got numbers forward here, Indonesia, screaming for it on the left-hand side. Is Haryadi! But they went for goal instead, and that's the first save that Min Long's been forced into. A decent effort from David Septian, who we know can score. He's got 2 goals already. Another long-range effort, and it bounced right in front of the goalkeeper. And he did well under the circumstances, Min Long. That wasn't an easy save to make, stretching out his right hand just to get enough on it to palm it away. And on the half hour, finally Indonesia are threatening. Min Long in a bit of a panic, setting his defence. They've not been used to defending, let alone defending set pieces at the moment in this one. It'll be the man whose shot caused that trouble, David Septian, to take the corner. Big men up from the back. Shambandi's there. Making the one is Haryadi. Septian with the in-swinger. Oh, a strange bit of improvisation from Nugroho there. Surely he'd have been better off trying to head that. He's now herring back to make sure they're not caught short at the back. But finally some promise going forward from Indonesia. This is more like it from Indonesia. Haryadi sends the Vietnamese player to his backside. Putting the trigger from range there optimistically was David Septian. This is better from Indonesia. Haryadi waits for the runner and the switch on the right-hand side. Ball through from Antara. Finds Malfani. Malfani will get a second go. Back to Antara. Antara with a cross that's blocked by Vietnam, and now as the game opens up, Vietnam have some space to work with. Van Toon fouled once more. I'm sure the referee, having already booked 2 Indonesian defenders, is desperate to keep his cards in his pocket. Just stuck a leg out there, didn't he? Hargianto can't have too many complaints. Skipper Bu Chen Dung. It goes to the industrious Van Toen. He's been very busy in this first half, Van Toen, and another chance for him down the right. Played out, taking no chances, Antara. It'll be another Vietnamese corner. Number 8, outranking Indonesia on the corner count by 8-1. But in truth, other than that flap from one of the corners from Hardianto, they've not caused them too many problems. So will the breakthrough come here? Once more, Hong Doi has had plenty of practice at these corners. This is the 8th time he's tried to swing one in. Keeper comes, punches this time. The punch doesn't clear the penalty box just yet, though. Vietnam penalised to give Indonesia some respite. Keeper's punch. Effective enough on that occasion, just about cleared the penalty box. And then they managed to draw the foul on Hargianto. Kong Pong penalised. He's had a quiet 45 minutes, or 34 minutes as it is now, Kong Pong. But write him off at your peril. He tends to pop up in the moments that matter. As Malfani goes back, and Indonesia try and stamp their own piece of authority on this game. Trying to play Vietnam at their own. They're just keeping possession and waiting for the runners to come to try and penetrate. But you can see, can't you, that the element of the draw here may be pleasing both teams to a certain extent. It's playing a part maybe in how this game is starting to up pace and then immediately slow down again. Chuan Tai gets it back to Du Man. Oh, caught in possession there, and that was a little bit silly. Chuan Tai caught in possession, and it was a bit of a lazy hack from Shambandi. Can't afford too many of those. You come in from behind like that, you're always going to get penalised, and that was a kick at the ankle there with the ball about 3 feet away. Shambandi perhaps lucky not to be the 3rd Indonesian to go into the referee's notebook there. Juman. They'll roll all the way back to the keeper here. Min Long will be charged with distributing it. They'll switch sides to the left. Far more space for Van Khan to work with down there. Inside the final 10 minutes of the first half. Double teaming Vietnam to good effect, and then look at that. The hard work was done. And wastefulness from Indonesia and Erzo Allian, who admittedly has been starved of service, but has been very quiet in this opening stanza. It's been, for the most part, Vietnam all the way here. As we await our first goal in tonight's men's SEA Game football action. Still goalless at the UTM between Cambodia and Timor-Leste. Battle of the basement boys, that one. Trying to go through the middle now for a change of luck of Vietnam. It hit the back, I think, there of Van Toen. Otherwise, if you'd have anticipated that, it'd have been through on goal. It was nice thinking. And it's great how Vietnam vary it up, down the flanks, through the middle. They've got plenty of options as Du Man waits to take the throw. No question who the happier of the two coaches will be at this stage. Hu Chang has seen his side dominate. The only drawback for him, of course, is they've not managed to break the deadlock. And Indonesia have shown, as you'd expect from a team that are also unbeaten in this tournament so far, and gave Thailand plenty of problems, that they can come forward and are capable of catching you out. That wasn't something really that Vietnam faced with, certainly Timor-Leste, and to a certain extent Cambodia. Even though Cambodia did grab that penalty, the game was over then, and they simply blew away the Philippines, Indonesia. That was well kept in initially by Van Tan, having to clear, not much option for Haryadi. Van Tan cheekily trying to get it through the middle. Vietnam keep it nicely. Oof. That was a challenge again, going straight through the back of Trong. Here's Van Toen, the busiest Vietnamese player this half. I think he went for something truly spectacular there. Not coming off. So 6 minutes to the break, still goalless. And as it stands, the Group B table shows Vietnam top, having played for 10 points, a goal difference of plus 11. In second spot would be Thailand, played for points 10, goal difference of plus 6. And Indonesia would be third, 2 points behind both of them, having also played 4 games with a goal difference of plus 4. So still possible it comes down to goal difference, and to that end Indonesia have the weakest of the 3 teams' goal difference at the moment. That's gone through to Alfani, but Vietnam managed to clear it away. Antara looks like he's shaping up for a long throw here. Reasonably long, it reached the penalty area. And a foul called against Indonesia. Vietnam player goes down in the box, guilty party. Zawalian, who's had a frustrating first half here. Cheap free kick to give away that one. Here's Van Tan. Nice move of Vietnam, and again, look at Van Toen. This time he's going to try his luck through the middle. He's looking for the return. He gets it, Van Toen into the penalty area, options in the middle. And another great sliding tackle. They've had to be spot on with those challenges, Indonesia, and more often than not, they've got it right. Pranata on that occasion, the captain, doing a sterling job. He was beaten initially, but didn't give up the cause. And I think he said that Van Toen got the last touch on that, and the referee agrees. Goal kick, Indonesia. Indonesia towards the end of the first half coming forward. Zawalian, first time we've seen him really be in possession. Zawalian, the cross came in, and luckily for Vietnam, plenty of red shirts in that 6-yard box to hoof it out. Lurking with intent was Malfani there, and this is the first bit of sunshine we've seen from Zawalian, and taking absolutely no chances with Van Khan. So can Indonesia finish the first half strongly? It's going to be Hanusa with the throw. Again, they go long. Into the penalty area it goes. Flicked on by Zawalian. It's going to drop here for a long-range effort that's deflected. And that looks like it's going out for a corner off Sambiandi's effort. But Zawalian, we saw them employ the long throw a couple of minutes ago, and he was penalised for a foul on that occasion. He managed to get the flick on. And Zawalian, he's been quiet for the first 40 minutes, but he's coming to life in the final 5 minutes of the first half. As David Septian goes over to take this corner. Wouldn't it just be typical of football if, having dominated the half, Vietnam, they see Indonesia snatch the first goal at the dying embers of the first 45. Training ground routine on the way, decent cross in the middle. Min Long fell over his own defender there. And that could have been dangerous for Vietnam, but they survive it. Have a look at this. Min Long comes and ends up clattering in to Bu Chien Dong. So inside the final 2 minutes, there's been no goals tonight in the Southeast Asian men's football. Scoreless between Cambodia and Timor-Leste at the UTM. Now that's the first. Oh, the card's coming out here. I think they put their hands on the referee. They have got to be very careful there. I think he's going to show 2 cards because he's already shown a card to Van Tan. It wasn't Van Tan that made the challenge. And they have to be very careful here, Vietnam. I thought for a minute they put their hands on the referee. They're trying to be calmed down by Hugh Chang, the Vietnamese coach. It was a challenge potentially worthy of a yellow. Let's have a look at the replay. Well, yeah, it has to be a yellow card, really. And it was Van Tan that made the challenge, bringing down Harry Addy. But look at the reaction to this by the Vietnamese players. Van Tan had to hand up, and as soon as Van Tan realises the card's coming out, well, he actually does push the referee. Very gently, Van Tan pushes the referee. He's a lucky boy there. Very lucky boy. But he goes into the book and now is walking a tightrope for the remaining 46 minutes of this match. And we're going to close this half with a chance for Shambiandi to deliver a set piece from way out on the touchline. Indonesia have committed numbers forward. They tried a trick play, it didn't come off, but they still get the throw. And we've seen them threaten from these throw-ins already. They do tend to manage to get some distance on them. Some more distance on that, looking for Urza Willian. It probably would have gone for him as well if he was anticipating a defensive slip. Now they have to be careful here. And they have to be very careful now. It's 2 against 2 if they can keep this in, Vietnam. Just beyond the reach of the on-rushing Kong Pong, who put his body on the line there to try and win that ball. Assistant referee checks he's okay, gets a thumbs up as we enter the final 55 seconds. Just the 1 minute added on for stoppages. The assistant referee nearly took a clattering there as well. Kong Pong almost coming to blows with the first aid stretcher on the sidelines. Is there time for one last Vietnamese chance in this first half? Shaping up for the long-range shot is Hong Doi. Instead chipped it through beautifully. The header comes in from Van Tan, of all people, who found himself that far forward, and he probably should have scored. Tipped over by Hardianto. Delightful improvisation from Hong Doi. And if that had been headed into the ground by Van Tan, I'm sure he'd have scored. As it was, Hardianto did well. But they'll have to face one final corner before we can put this one in the books as a scoreless 45 minutes. He knows, I think, Van Tan, that was a gilt-edged opportunity, the best chance of the half. Hardianto, I think, has bent back his fingers in saving that as well. On comes the magic spray and sponge. And all that adds up to is that literally Indonesia will just have to thump this corner clear, and I'm sure the half-time whistle will blow. Really good improvisation from Hong Doi. Thought he was going to shoot from range as we look back on one of his earlier efforts. He's been the danger man from distance, Hong Doi. That was an effort earlier on that was saved by Hardianto. This was the sole effort of the first half from Indonesia, coming from David Septian. That was a decent save from Min Long. So very much still in this game, Indonesia, even if Vietnam have been the better team. And they've got one more corner to face. It's a change in the taker. Out swinger, not in swinger. It's not cleared yet. They want to hack this clear and get the half-time whistle in. And that is indeed what happened. So, very close in the dying embers of the first half to Van Tan, giving Vietnam the lead. They'd also gone close previously